So it must have been like 6 years ago, maybe a little bit more. I was here at the JCCSF teaching, and I was doing some creatures. When I was in college, I made a monster that I was very, very proud of. And I said I was always going to come back to that, but I was like a figurative sculptor, and I was trying to work on these more sophisticated, traditional figurative sculptures. And when I was here, I had some time, and I was like, you know what, I want to go back to that, but maybe make it on a little bit more reasonable scale. I was making life-size pieces at the time. And this little girl that I was teaching, she asked if she drew something, could I make it out of clay? And I said, I don't know, maybe. And so she drew me a really cool robot, and I made it out of clay, and it was really fun. It looked great. I was very happy with the results. And so I just started doing that more and more, and then I started working at my studio in Oakland, and I put up a big sign one night, I think one of the first nights I was there, for one of our First Friday events, and I put up a sign and it said, draw me a robot or monster and maybe I'll make it out of clay. And I didn't think that any adults would participate. And it ended up being, by the end of the night, I think I put out one sketchbook and I had 35 submissions. And these would be people spending 60 seconds on a drawing, and then there would be some people that would sit down for 25 minutes at my desk and draw. And so from there, it's just spiraled, and it's become really popular and fun, and it's a thing that I look forward to. I feel like I took myself very seriously when I was starting out, and then I made a monster, and I had so much fun. And it brought me back to my childhood, and it brought me back to all the things that I love in the world. And it was also a way to kind of like discuss things that were fearful to me. With the piece that you're talking about with the robot who's using a walker, it was at the time it was my birthday, and I was getting older, and I was starting to feel that I'm not in my 20s anymore, even though I'm way far away from my 20s. And I interpreted the piece differently. Basically, it looks like the piece 100 years after the piece was in its prime. The drawing was of the piece when it was going to war and it was really strong, and the piece I made was after it had been broken down and really couldn't get around anymore. And that is, like I said, it's a combination of just what I see and where my head takes it, but also whatever is going on in my life can have great effect on how I push the piece.